tabloid sting with strong language.
They're killing me. They're killing me, son. They're killing me. I just want my life back. They ruined me.
Having been accused of fixing a Class A drug deal, Tulisa Kontostavlos' jury trial dramatically collapsed after a week of hearing evidence. But although she is now completely in the clear, the toll on her public image and her private life has been immense.
Oh my God. I'm so happy.
As soon as the story broke in June 2013, Tulisa decided she wanted to record what was happening to her and how it really feels to go through the ordeal of an undercover tabloid sting, to be arrested, charged and go through a court case.
They were calling into my back garden and filming me half naked.
Tulisa filmed the press storm surrounding her from the moment she found out that she'd been entrapped by a tabloid newspaper.
At no point at any time when I got into this industry did I think some of this shit would be happening. That is not in the contract.
I'm not a drug dealer. I've never been a drug dealer. I've never even taken cocaine.
And allowed our cameras to follow her through the whole process from start to finish.
I'm just a nervous wreck. He circled the house, he went round the back and he was watching me through my windows. You can see I'm under 24-hour surveillance.
This would never have happened unless they made it happen. They made it happen.
The thing that I'm most scared of is losing my money, then losing my security, and then my mental stability. That's the path that I see it. That would be the downward spiral.
This is a really amazing house. What do you think you would have thought as a teenager if you come round here?
I would have been like, wow, this is amazing. I'd love to live here one day. And now that I live in it, I spend most of my time not really being able to enjoy it because I'm always thinking, well, what if I lose everything? And I'm not going to be able to live in a house like this anyway. So it's like I'm living the life and I don't enjoy it. I'm guilty of that sometimes. I tell myself off for it, and everyone else does as well. They're like, just enjoy it. What if it's all gone tomorrow?
What's your favourite bit of the house?
My favourite bit of the house has to be the pool. I've always wanted to have a swimming pool. And
Will you show it to us?
yeah, I'll show you the pool. It's probably a mess. This is where I have all my little parties. This is my pool. Recently I've been having like parties in the pool, just getting all my mates around. It's like for a while, it's like I was a bit, when it all like kicked off, I get into like antisocial mode and I don't want to see anyone. And then my other Tulisa kicks in and goes, right, that's it. Come on, get back in touch with your mates, start getting out, do stuff. And then now I've got all my friends around me again. We've been having quite a few pool parties.
But the perks of fame turned into a nightmare for the former X Factor judge. On the 2nd of June last year, The Sun on Sunday ran a story that Tulisa was a drugs fixer. The resulting fallout saw Tulisa's public image seemingly tarnished irreparably. It followed a carefully choreographed sting operation by The Sun on Sunday.
I was approached by these two film producers and their PA. They wanted me for this massively lead role in a Bollywood/Hollywood production. There were first-class flights to Vegas, 2 hotel suites. All in all, in the end, I was offered anything between 3 to 3.5 mil for this movie role. I'm thinking, wow, this is a dream come true.
The man at the centre of the sting was the infamous fake sheikh, Mazza Mahmood, who posed as Bollywood film producer Samir Khan to entrap Tulisa. He's only ever done one television interview, here with the BBC journalist Emily Maitlis, where he justifies his infamous techniques.
The point of entrapment comes up time and time again, and nothing annoys me more than that. I mean, you're a top TV presenter. Is there any way I could persuade you to supply me with cocaine? Is there any way at all, Emily? We only expose people who are involved in criminal wrongdoing or moral wrongdoing.
Do you ever feel a little bit uncomfortable in your own skin that this is the way you operate?
Not at all. I'm proud of what I do. I wouldn't do it otherwise.
Mazza Mahmood set his sights on Tulisa as his next high-profile target. He approached her and told her he could make her a movie star, that she could work with Leonardo DiCaprio, that he would make her rich, and that she would win awards. No expense was spared, and as the weeks passed, and as she was flown first class to a meeting in Las Vegas, Tulisa became more and more convinced that she was being offered something genuine and extraordinary.
I was enraged at myself for being that stupid, but to be fair, I wasn't too enraged. And the reason why was because of the lengths that they went to was so extreme. I don't think there's many people that wouldn't have believed it.
The meetings continued back in London. Scripts were alluded to, and contracts were to be drawn up for this life-changing movie role. Tulisa and her PA Gareth were treated like VIPs. The Sun on Sunday went to great lengths to convince them that the offer that was being made was genuine, and Tulisa thought that she would soon be a multi-million-pound movie star. Tulisa was taken in by Mr. Mahmood, and she believed that her chances of getting the part in the movie would be boosted if she made herself out to be a streetwise woman, familiar with and to some extent involved in drugs.
Again, the story outline very briefly is that we want an English girl, from
Are we talking
humble.
posh British
No,
or
we want
normal
we,
accent?
No, we want something from
great.
a kind of almost your accent. We want a kind of
I can
something
do Cockney.
from kind of very low background.
Yeah.
Perfect. Before the fame.
Yeah.
We want almost
Now
kind of
I get
like a bad girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit ghetto. A bit ghetto. Yeah.
You've got with that kind of. I mean, a kind of a.
Now I get it. Now
It makes complete sense.
Don't be fooled by the pretty dress.
Yeah.
Now I completely get it.
We met them in Vegas, LA, in London. So people might think, oh, she's been naive, she's been stupid. Yeah, but there's phone calls in Vegas, Australia, Saint-Tropez, London, Scotland, Boston. There was phone calls made that I made to hotel rooms around the world to speak to these guys.
On the 23rd of May 2013, the undercover journalist at the centre of the sting, who Tulisa still believed to be top Bollywood film producer Samir Khan, and who she believed was about to change her life, asked Tulisa if she had the number of someone that could supply him with cocaine. According to the Sun's version of the events, Mazza Mahmood met Tulisa's contact at the Dorchester Hotel on Park Lane and purchased £820 worth of cocaine and secretly filmed the whole encounter. Within days, Tulisa was on the front page of every tabloid newspaper and was headline news. Her world fell apart in an instant. There was no film, no movie role, no £3.5 million contract, and the Bollywood super producer Samir Khan was in fact Mazza Mahmood, an undercover journalist. It had all been a con, an elaborate sting, a sting that Tulisa fell for, hook, line and sinker.
Tell me what Tulisa was like when you found out what had happened.
When I first, I didn't know how to tell her at first, but when I finally did, I don't know, it was a weird reaction, wasn't it? Because she just I don't think it hit her, but then at the same time I think it did. It was just weird. The whole thing is a blur. I just remember how I felt, thinking God knows how she must feel, but she was quite strong initially, and then the more I think it started to unravel, the more it sort of felt that everything was just gonna get really big. And that's when you broke down, didn't you?
So, here I am again. Actually, just don't even know what to say anymore. And I'm filming this because I'm so sick of people not knowing what is really going on. And I act like I'm strong, but I'm really not in the slightest. Part of me is strong that I can put up with things and I pick myself up and I move on. But inside, I am one of the most vulnerable people you'll ever meet. And I generally suffer from a lot of depression, and it's moments like this that send me under. I really just want it all to end. I don't want to be this person anymore. I don't want to be things anymore.
How can someone hate someone so young? Oh, fucking hell. It's not nice.
As the story broke, Tulisa locked herself in her house with her mates. The house was surrounded by paparazzi and television news crews.
Even if any criminal proceedings don't come to anything, or whatever happens with criminal proceedings, it seems already that these allegations could end up costing the singer quite a bit of money.
Overnight, the whole thing.
You can fucking have it back and shove it up their arse crack as far as I'm concerned. At no point, at any time when I got into this industry, did I think some of this shit would be happening. That is not in the contract. No. It's not fucking on. So they want me to have a breakdown. They want me to shave my hair off. They want me to maybe top myself. Well, fuck that. They'd be happy. They would be buzzing.
The Sun run with this today. We would arrest Tulisa, say cops, start to be quiz over a cocaine deal. Quite aggressive, yeah, big deal.
If Tulisa is charged and found guilty by a jury for being concerned with the supply of a Class A drug, it would certainly carry a custodial sentence.
Day 2. In the big media destruction house, Tulisa is still dealing with the recent news that she is front page of The Sun after deep, intense entrapment.
Pretty much, you know, every person, most people that I've got close to in my life have effed me over. Most of them.
Tulisa's troubled relationships have been balanced by the love she had for her mentor, Uncle B.
So Uncle B is basically he's my uncle, and he's Dappy's dad, and he is the reason N-Dubs got to where they were. He had a dream. He saw these 3 little rascals, as he would call us, and he basically spent all his time just dedicated it to getting us to where we got to.
Is he the sort of dad you wished you had?
He did the things that a dad should do for me and was everything a dad should be to me, and I was always, you know, he used to say it, he never used to call me his niece, he called me his daughter and say that I was the daughter that he never had. I feel like he watches me. I feel like he's around me all the time. Like, all the time. Especially with everything that's going on right now. I can just feel him there.
Tulisa's uncle died aged 50 and didn't get to see her meteoric rise, culminating in her role as a judge on X Factor. She had a £6 million mansion, a multi-million-pound TV deal, and a string of brands and endorsements. For a girl from a council estate in Camden, she was riding high.
First year was a very happy time. I think it was the tape where it all kind of went wrong for me mentally.
The sex tape?
Yeah. When the tape came out, I just felt like I'd lost control again. I was like, no, this isn't what I want to be portrayed as. This isn't what I'm about. And just afterwards, trying to go back out there, I remember it was the thought of facing an audience, a crowd, and to sit there, and even though I'm a judge, I'm being judged more than anyone, more than the contestants. The judges get judged the most, so I just found it so hard to face people again.
Some people might not think that it's necessarily such a bad thing.
Well, I think it's an absolute violation of my human rights, of me as a person. I think it's absolutely disgusting, and he knew it as well.
Do you think the person responsible for it knew how much it would upset you?
Yeah, he knew. He wanted to cause that damage. He didn't like me very much.
Have you thought about the fact that they might send you to prison? Have you?
I've thought about it as much as I think I need to. But so that's like worst case scenario, but you just have to like get on with it.
3 days after the story broke, Tulisa was driven to the police station where she was arrested, interviewed and released on bail. That night, Tulisa was finding it hard to cope. She didn't know how far this was going to go. Would charges even be pressed? And if so, when would she find out? On top of which, she is trying to cope with being at the centre of a media firestorm.
Andrew, yeah. What's she saying? Yeah. The paps are running around the back of my house, into the bushes, and they're filming me walking around my bedroom. It's not even legal.
She decided to leave and go up to Manchester.
Once I'm in Manchester, no one's finding me. No one.
She hid under a blanket in the back of her car to avoid the press.
Fuck this.
Tulisa was bailed to return to the police station on the 29th of July to be charged with the single allegation of being concerned in the supply of Class A drugs. This is the legal wording for fixing a drug deal. But it's been delayed and she still doesn't know whether she's going to be charged or not. A month passes and Tulisa is still waiting to hear whether she will be officially charged. All of her work is on hold and she's been forced to move out of her grand Hertfordshire mansion to a small flat in North London.
So right now I am here. I've had to leave the little white mansion because for about 3 weeks I was being what I would call stalked. 24-hour surveillance, spied on by different groups of people, which I'm not sure if they're connected.
And are you going to sell that house?
I am going to sell that house. I'm going to have to. After everything that's happened, I don't feel safe there at all. I don't even want to drive back there to pick up my stuff because I'm afraid that someone will follow me and find me here.
How have your finances been?
through what's been happening?
Basically, my finances, I'm okay. This is my issue, is that all of my endorsements and where most of my money comes from, which is, you know, my branding, has been frozen until we find out what's going on with the case. If I sell the house, I'll be in a brilliant financial position.
To be able to afford to live
without even my
without
assets
needing
being unfrozen.
And that would be a great sense of relief, I'd imagine.
That would be amazing, but you know, we can hope for the best, but you have to always prepare for the worst and, you know, look at what you've got and think worst case scenario, best case scenario, and just make sure you got a plan. But I'm okay.
Le boutons, my lady loose.
You wore them home.
This afternoon, Tulisa is travelling into central London for an audition for a part in an American sitcom.
Thanks, please don't film my feet.
Sorry.
Please don't. It's very unnecessary to see my monster munch toes. Where's the script? So right now we're going to basically my British acting agent's office to film a video audition for a new American series on HBO for the lead role.
You nervous?
No, not right now, no. It's nothing to be nervous about because it's like the easiest form of audition because you can take as many takes as you want and send it over to them. So it's not like you're under the pressure or you got your one shot and you walk in with the casting director. So I'm quite relaxed.
And how come you're doing it in London?
I'm doing it in London because I'm not allowed in America because I'm on bail for a drugs-related charge. So I can't go there at the minute. Yes, I'll read it back to you. Important to your sister, you come to the Hamptons tonight. Car picking you up from your house at 3 p.m. Now, should I say love, mom, or just from? We got disconnected. No, she was so nice, and then I just burst into tears. It's not a lot, really. Sorry, I went out of character for a moment. It's not a lot, really. I've got to like continuously talk like this for the whole journey so that I get into the motion of, you know, speaking with an American accent, get in the moment. So that when I go in there, it just comes naturally and there's no slip-ups. You don't want to hear any of that British accent slipping through, otherwise you're in trouble.
But when they arrive at her agent's offices, Tulisa spots a car with blacked-out windows that she saw parked outside her flat this morning.
Can I get out? I'm going to see who the fuck it is.
That's the car.
That's definitely the reg.
100%, that's the reg number. They found us, and why is he already outside? He's already outside the destination of where we're going. What does that tell you? Somebody from the inside has tipped him off.
You right there? Huh? No, I'm just asking, are you waiting for someone?
No, not you.
You're not? You're not waiting for no one, right? Alright, cool. Pardon? No, I'm just asking who you're waiting for, because I think I saw you outside our house earlier. I just wanted to make sure.
Coming up to my motorpad.
I'm just asking who you are. If you're...
Jog on, who the fuck are you? Jog on.
Right. He's got walkie-talkies in the car. He's fucking aggressive. He's got walkie-talkies. Drew, he's got walkie-talkies. Yeah, I don't care if it's a pat, he's got walkie-talkies. Yeah. Who are you talking to on walkie-talkies? And he's aggressive little shitbag.
I recognise them anyway.
Well, I've never seen him before.
I 100% recognise him.
Alright, let's just get her in. Right, Drew, keep an eye on him. Just see what he does. No, don't go and talk to him, please, Drew. Not on camera. Don't do that shit.
Why is he at the destination before I even got there?
It's a different guy though. That wasn't the guy, the same car. So I want to try and see what he's doing now. You go through with George and Alex and let me deal with this with the police.
Sorry, seen him with...
You want to drink anything?
Have you got any Coca-Cola?
I can get some Coca-Cola if that's what you want. Yeah, no problem.
How's it all going?
This is what is like happening to me now, 24/7. These
look, these scenarios, like, and I'm just a nervous wreck because I'm just panicking every 5 minutes because there's people. This guy was circling my house this morning, this car, and now there's a different driver with walkie-talkies in it already at the destination that I'm going to before I've even got there. So this is a perfect example. It's the first time you film me in however long. You can see I'm under 24-hour surveillance. How do these people know where I'm going? Why have they got walkie-talkies? Why are they changing drivers? I feel like I'm being bugged. Luckily, I've taken the number plate down this morning of the car, so I know that it's them. So obviously, as soon as I've keeping my eyes peeled, as soon as I've seen that reg, I've gone, that's the car that was outside my house this morning. And he's not a pat, because he would have just waited outside my house. He circled the house, he went round the back, and he was watching me through my windows. And then he drove off again, and then came back and waited outside the front.
Wound up by what has just happened, Tulisa feels unable to go through with the audition.
Let's get going. Let's get out of here.
But don't follow me that coming through the street, because if they are still out there, they're going to photograph. I've been such a nervous wreck and on edge that I just literally walked in there to read my lines and just my mind just went blank. So I can't do it right now. I can't do the audition because my head's just, I can't concentrate. I can't think of anything other than what's going on. So, no audition. Just another day of police, drama, and I'm on my way home.
It's now December. 6 months have passed while she has been waiting and waiting to find out what's going to happen to her. And Tulisa has just received the devastating news that she will be charged the following day.
I want to go to the police station on Monday. And there's no emotions to describe how I feel. My life is ruined. It's over. I feel like my whole world is falling apart. I'm gonna lose everything. Everything I built. I just wanted to be a person and to make music and to just live and laugh and be loved, and that is all that I wanted. And now it's gone. They fucked me up good and proper. They're killing me. They're killing me, son. They're fucking killing me. I just want my life back. They ruined me. This would never have happened unless they created the situation. They made it happen. This would never have happened unless they made it happen. They made it happen. It's evil. It's wrong.
It's just been pretty much an emotional wreck the whole night. I mean, there were hours of drama and Tappy come round and there was like emotional breakdowns and screaming, and I had a drink, so everything felt even more intensified. You know, like I say, I always get my times when I feel like I want to give up, but I've never felt it as strong as the other day when I found out this. I really Like, in my mind was just like, what's the point? What is the point? I just can't. I don't have the energy anymore to do this. Even if I get through it, then what? I'm just going to be drained as a person. I'm going to be numb by the end of this. I don't know how much of me I'm going to have left. And I was like, oh, should I just end it? Should I just get on with it and just never have to feel like this ever again?
Do you mean kill yourself?
Yeah. I'll just be honest, I don't care, yeah.
Okay. You ready, T? When he said what's going to happen, he said he's going to get there for about 20 past. He'll go in, get it all registered and whatnot, let us know what paps and media are there. You pull up, he wants me to walk you in. He'll then take you to the custody suite where they're going to basically rebook you in again. You might go to a cell, you might not, you might just stay in the custody thing, and then they'll formally charge you there. And then he'll read a statement, I'll wait in reception for you. You'll come out about an hour later into reception, leave, and he'll read a statement if anyone's out there, and then we'll come back here. He wanted a meeting afterwards, but I said no. Yeah, do you know what, let's just park in the car.
I'm a bit worried, you know, Gareth. I'm worried that, you know, when I get my leg shake thing, when I get nervous and I feel sick, and because I'm in heels, I'm worried that I'm gonna.
I'll hold your hand.
I'm gonna need someone to link me because I'm gonna be shaking.
Ben said I can walk in with you, yeah?
Mhm.
I can wait in reception or come back to the car, I can do whatever I want, but I can go as far as reception.
Mhm.
And that's take you in and pick you up again.
I'm just worried about standing on the steps.
That's cool, you can lean on me.
My
or
legs
Ben
are
or
gonna
someone.
shake, so I'm gonna need to hold someone. Ugh. Feel sick.
Tulisa desperately wants to avoid the paparazzi today, so Gareth has leaked information sending the press to the wrong police station. A strategy that has worked, as there are no photographers or camera crews when they arrive at Charing Cross.
In a bit, guys.
Good luck, see you soon. So what happened in there just then? Did you just take her in?
Yeah, I just took her in, Ben's briefing her, and then they'll take her through. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah. Today's been building up for so many months.
Yeah, it's like 6 months, and then like this decision changes everything for the next 12 months to 18, I guess, realistically.
Yeah.
There's no, I know everyone wants to play it down, but it's time to get fighting.
Just get me in that car, Jake. Get me in the car.
Oh, you go for it. Actually,
Police didn't tip him off.
What happened in there? Talk us through it.
It's very different from the first time that I went in. Like, obviously the first time the police officers were really nice, but this time they were like really accommodating. They didn't keep me waiting long. They just brought me in, sat me down, made me stood up. The officers were really sympathetic, very nice to me. They seemed as if they didn't want to be doing what they had to do. One of them even said, you know, good luck, I hope it all goes well.
What's the process? Do they read out what the charge is?
Yes.
And were you there with her?
Yes. So it's a completely dictated process with no latitude. They have to go through a prescribed series of questions and get to the end of it and charge and read the charge, and then ask Tulisa if she wanted, as they would do anybody, and then ask her if she wanted to say anything.
And did you say anything?
No.
Today, Tulisa has to appear at Southwark Crown Court, and the media have turned out in force.
You've been asked to get out of the road. Sorry, can you move out of the road for a couple of minutes?
Fun, fun, fun.
So you're just going to get out of the car and walk straight into court? Yeah, and just ignore all the...
Fuck.
Well, there's hundreds of them.
It's nice they all came out, isn't it?
Maybe I should take my gum out.
Stop, Drew.
Yeah, no, stop. It goes up there, isn't it?
Yeah, here.
Yeah,
See?
open
There's
the
a
door.
part.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, if you go out first, then I'll open the door. Ready?
Hey, I'm Talon, and this is Rumpus, and I'm going to show you how to start an online t-shirt business. Let's go. First,
Today, Tulisa appeared at Southwark Crown Court in connection with a serious allegation which has been concerned with the supply of drugs. Tulisa is not guilty of this or any other offence and is looking forward to giving her account to a jury. That trial will take place in July and will reveal the full extent of the role played by Mazza Mahmood in the Sunday Sun.
We're 3 weeks away from the hearing at which we'll try and stop the trial, and if that hearing is unsuccessful, we're a month and a half away from the trial itself. So it's been a long run for me, and I imagine an even longer and harder run for Tulisa.
I'm at that kind of numb stage where I'm just a bit, I just want it over with. My line at the minute is 2 months to go. 2 months, and no matter what, it's all going to be over. If I've done a year of it, I can do 2 months. 2 months is nothing.
What are the kind of pressures and challenges and difficulties that it's like to be a defendant?
The honest answer is I think it's probably one of, if not the most difficult experiences that anybody in their life will encounter. The first thing is for the people who are defendants are to a large extent locked into a system over which they have no control. There is likely to be a trial. They have to come to court. They have to endure the entirety of whatever aspect of their life is in issue being explored in microcosmic detail.
And you managing to get much sleep?
No. Oh my God, my sleep is horrific at the moment. Literally, the last 3 nights I went to bed at like 6:30 a.m. every night. Just can't sleep. And obviously it's annoying because when you try and explain to people, like, when you're an insomniac, they're like, okay, just take a sleeping pill, but you know, how often? I can't take a sleeping pill every time I have a night where I can't sleep because it's most nights. So I tend to just reserve, you know, sleeping pills for court dates and things like that where I have to sleep. So So the rest of the time I just sort of deal with it.
There's almost the feeling, I suppose, that they have of that they become a spectator in a part of their own life, which is a very odd sensation to have. To listen potentially to days and days and weeks of evidence given by other people and argued about by lawyers in wigs and gowns about what you did or you didn't do or what you did or you didn't say is a really, I would have thought, I mean, I've not been in this position, but frustrating, difficult, upsetting and emotionally draining experience. So T, I know you've been seeing Jane with Gareth quite a lot in terms of getting ready for the hearing coming up both tomorrow, later in June and July, and I thought what might be really useful to do is just have a recap as to where we are.
You were set up and entrapped. Entrapment is not a defence to a criminal charge, as we've discussed before, but a judge is entitled to stop the proceedings if he or she feels that
it's an abuse of the justice system.
Well, it's an abuse of the justice system, yeah, in the widest sense. That's essentially what we have to demonstrate, is that this was crime manufactured by Mahmoud and the Sun newspaper.
Putting it another way, what the current position is this, is that a police officer can't, as a matter of law, try and persuade somebody to commit a criminal offence and then prosecute them.
Yeah.
A journalist like Mahmoud could persuade somebody to try and commit a criminal offence and then prosecute them, and we're saying that does not make sense. That's fundamentally an unfair balancing act the court should persuade, and if it's wrong for police officers to try and persuade people to commit criminal offences, it must be wrong for journalists to try and persuade them to commit criminal offences, and if it's wrong, then your prosecution shouldn't against you shouldn't continue.
And obviously we'll be drawing from the facts of your case and the whole business of you being lured to Las Vegas, the carrot of the 3.5 million, the carrot of the major part in the film,
winning an Oscar.
Our position is that Leonardo DiCaprio.
Childhood crushes.
Well,
all of the above.
You know,
I did it all for Leo.
Well,
yeah, that's not a defence either. But there we are.
I know.
But we're saying that all of this is just that you were lured into an irresistible situation. Although, of course, we hotly deny any involvement in any drugs transaction.
But just even the stuff that was said that was out of character that they printed, it's just a whole defamation
So
of
every
character.
aspect of it will form part of the abuse.
What's in honest about you and drugs? And nothing
But
like
I used to smoke weed.
But that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read it yet?
Yeah, I've read it.
Okay. Because I don't want to use them to use that as their source.
Well, I think
weed and taking and selling cocaine
You deal with weed, yeah.
is a long way off smoking a bit of weed. I even say in the book that I gave it up for years,
It
which I did.
specifically says that he was contacted by somebody.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it can't simply be that
They can't change it.
It can't be I read honest.
No.
Yeah.
Let's just work through this. So let's just imagine that we don't win the abuse.
Yeah.
We then move on to the trial, and then we've got about 3 weeks. I mean, a lot of work's happened in preparation for the trial already, but then you've got a 3-week run to get ready for the trial.
Today is the final day of the abuse of process hearing. This is Tulisa's legal team's final attempt to try and stop the case going to a full jury trial.
The judge took the view that there was insufficient evidence of gross misconduct at that stage, and therefore the judge's ruling was that the case should be tried by a jury and that Tulisa could have a fair trial.
Finally, a year after being arrested in the summer of 2013, Tulisa's trial is about to begin.
How long do you think the trial could last?
The trial could last like up to a month. It's been really bad.
How do you feel about every...
It's just like the long-term thought of like every day doing it. I scared for myself. I'm scared for myself. Oh.
But when you get out of the car today and all those paps take photos of you striding in, you're going to have to look kind of tough and steely.
No matter what face I pull, they'll always find a problem with it, so... Because if I smile, then they'll be like, oh, look, she thinks she's having a whale of a time. She doesn't care about the child because someone cracked one joke that made me just go like that for a second. I'm not allowed to live.
Until this is over, and then you can.
It's alleged Tulisa told the Sun on Sunday reporter Mazur Mahmood, also known as the fake sheikh, that she could arrange for him to buy cocaine.
Okay, the former X Factor judge Tulisa Contestavlos went on trial today over allegations she was involved in supplying cocaine to an undercover reporter.
The trial begins with the prosecution setting out the case against Tulisa, and they pull no punches. The press coverage paints Tulisa as a drugs fixer, and her version of events is hotly contested. A few days in, Tulisa is feeling depressed.
First day, I feel like I went in and I don't know. Obviously, I'd built I kept saying I was trying to be positive, so I'd built myself up to be positive. So I don't know why, but obviously a part of me expected some positivity from it. Do you know what I mean? I thought, if anything, it would start good and get worse if there was going to be, you know, hard times ahead. But it started off really bad. That was the point when I went on such a low on the second day that when I was driving to court, in my head, I was like, do you know what? I really got the feeling the judge didn't like me one bit. And I just thought, if I was to be found guilty, I'm definitely going to prison. It felt like it was happening, and everything felt really bad. And I was like, they've got me good and proper. They have fully finished me off and set me up. And I was just like, I don't know. I got myself in that mind frame, preparing for the worst, because that's what it felt like.
How was it when Maz Mahmood gave evidence? I read in the paper that you asked to move so that you could be in his eye line.
Yeah, I wanted to look at him. I wanted him to, I don't know what I wanted. For me, it was like facing him. Just facing him, showing him that I'm not scared.
Day after day, Tulisa makes the same long car journey across London. And as the days pass, it looks more and more likely she could be facing prison. But on day 4 of the trial, there's a dramatic turnaround.
Mazar Mahmood gave evidence and he was cross-examined over the period of a day. We knew that there are serious question marks over his dealings with a statement from his driver, and the judge's view was that Mr. Mahmood had lied about having seen that statement, and that there was an inference that pressure had been put upon the driver to change his statement, and those were the circumstances in which the judge decided that the case should be stopped.
The media and the wider public are completely unaware of what's about to happen. Everyone believes that the trial is entering its second week and will continue for several weeks to come. In fact, Tulisa knows that due to the lie Mazar Mahmood told in court a few days earlier, her nightmare ordeal is coming to a sudden and very welcome conclusion.
So at the end of last week, the judge said something in court that sounded like it was making him reconsider the whole case.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears that he's been persuaded that Mazar Mahmood lied under oath to the judge.
He knew, you know, a couple of weeks ago in the abuse trial, he said one thing and he was 100% sure on what he said. And then a couple of weeks later, he says the same thing, and then when faced with evidence to show otherwise, tries to change the story and say, oh, I forgot. And thank God, even the prosecution and the judge was like, that's not good enough. You're lying. You're sitting here lying. And I think the judge was pretty insulted, you know.
he's stood up there and lied to his face about serious stuff. He got one of his own team to change their statement because a member of his own team, his story complied with my story, and it confirmed everything that I was saying, that it was an act. You know, I was auditioning. Basically, as soon as I left the hotel, after all the rubbish I was talking, I went in the car and became completely anti-drugs, and was speaking about a situation and scenario and in the complete opposite way and tone. And the driver heard all of that and knew what was going on. And so luckily he confirmed that in his statement until Mahmood obviously got hold of him, because like I said, when he wants a story to stick, it has to stick. Got hold of him and forced him to change his statement.
What was your worst fear if you had been found guilty?
My worst fear, if I was found guilty, funny enough, most people think, oh, it would be going to prison. It wasn't. It was losing my career. I got to the point where I was like, I can accept prison, I can handle prison. It's when I come out, it's having my life taken away from me, my livelihood, my job, everything I work for, from the age of 11 years old.
What have you learned from all of this, from your year of hell?
Oh my God, I've learned so many lessons. It really is my year of enlightenment. I feel like,
You've gone older?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a woman now.
This extraordinary turn of events was highlighted by the judge as he explained the situation to the jury. He said, "Where there has been some aspect of the investigation which is tainted by serious misconduct to the point that the integrity of the court will be compromised, then the court has no alternative but to say this case must go no further." Mazhar Mahmood vehemently denies any duplicity in his work. In a statement, the Sun said, "We are very disappointed with this outcome, but do believe the original investigation was conducted within the bounds of the law and the industry's code. Mr. Mahmood has been suspended pending an immediate internal investigation."
Let me be perfectly clear. I have never dealt drugs and never been involved in taking or dealing cocaine. This whole case was a horrific and disgusting entrapment by Mazhar Mahmood and the Sun on Sunday newspaper. Oh my God.
That was really good.
I'm so happy. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't actually believe it's over. I can't believe it's over. Hello? Mummy? Hello, yes, honey? It's over.
I know, sweetheart. I know, isn't that fantastic?
It's amazing.
You've done so well. You're very strong. You're a strong girl.
Thanks to you.
I love you. I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too.
I know. I love you too, precious. Well done. I've been thinking of you all the time. I really have. I love you so.
I love you.
It's okay. Let it come out. Have a good cry. It's all right, sweetheart. Mummy's here. Mummy's here. I'm right with you.
I was so scared, Mummy.
I know you were, honey. I know you were scared. I know. It was horrible. I know. I know. I was thinking of you all the time. Very, very frightening. It was horrible. I know, Lily.
Days after this case concluded, Tulisa hit the papers again, found guilty of assault and fined £200. But after the worst year of her life, Tulisa's focus is firmly on the future.
This has been my year of enlightenment. It really has. And I feel so blessed and so grateful to be sitting here on this day with my best friend, my soul, my heart, my soulmate, still standing strong by my side and having the ability to move forward and do so many things. I just want to be me. There's no more fronting. I've been there, done that, worn the t-shirt. There's no more fronting to the public. I'm not gonna play the whole hard urban role. I'm just gonna be myself. And you know, if it's soft and hey, judge me, go for it. I don't care.